Today's podcast is brought to you by Inverted Gear. For all your jiu-jitsu needs, go to invertedgear.com. Save 15% off if you type in the coupon code ShowTheArt15 with no spaces. Our next sponsor is Chimera Coffee. That's Chimera Coffee with a K. They are a coffee brand that infused their coffee with nootropics. If you don't know what nootropics are, Google it. They can do a much better job at explaining it than I can. Go to chimeracoffee.com, type in the coupon code ShowTheArt for a nice little discount. Enjoy.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, man. How are you
Good,
doing?
man. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Yep, just locking up the gym now. Just finished some world camp training and got some good rolls in and heading home.
Can you detail how that competition class just went? Like, how did it start? I don't know if you can bestow upon us these awesome secrets.
Yeah, so today we came in, we did like a few 6-minute rounds in the fundamentals at the end of the fundamentals class, just warming up. And then when the advanced class starts, all the competitors kind of stick around, and we start off with usually like 5 to 10 rounds of 2 minutes first to scores. Where you just go nuts for 2 minutes trying to score like the first points and then resetting when you do.
Okay.
And that is like, that kind of like sets it off every time. And it's always like you get a little bad blood going with one of the guys, but stuff gets like really heated, and then you kind of carry that over into the rolls. And we did some like 50-50 specifics, and then we did some training afterwards.
Nice, man. And is that specific training just first point wins from standing from wherever, or are you picking specific spots?
For the first two scores in the beginning, it's like we kind of use that to like just set off the training, where it starts from standing. You can take the guy down, you can pull, you can do whatever you got to do to score. Okay. And it's kind of like the chance for like the lower belts to like scoop one out on the better guys. You'll see like a purple belt get a takedown or get 2 points on a higher guy, like just by going so heavy and so hard for the first like 30 seconds, and then like that just sets it off. And it's just really good to get like really tired at the beginning of the training and then carry the training from there.
And it's 2 minutes with the same partner.
Yeah, and then you switch partners every 2 minutes. So you like do like 5 to 10 with that just to start.
That's rough, man.
Damn, I love it. What's next?
Yeah, the after that we do a lot of like specifics, like not specifics in like the old traditional way where you like start inside control, starting now. Mm-hmm. We do like almost positions. Like we'll start like in a leg drag, or we'll start in 50-50, and whoever like comes up and gets the 2 wins, and like we'll put like a minute on the clock, and when that timer goes off after the minute, whoever's on top won the round, and the loser has to do like burpees or something. You'll just see guys in 50-50 like killing themselves to end on top.
Interesting. And how are you guys? Are you guys drilling at this point? Because you know the competition you're training for is right around the corner. Do you continue drilling your own techniques? At least in the competition classes, are there any techniques being taught, or at this point is just that live training, that specific training?
What we have is like we kind of have like a strange environment with our competition team, which is something I kind of wanted to like talk about and get out there to the world. But we don't have a coach figure. I am in no way, shape, or form any more of a coach to my competition team than the other guys. Like there's tiers, you know, where we have like the top tier guys that we all are kind of like a group, and we kind of lead it like as like a council almost,
right? Rather
than like one guy saying you do this and that and this and that. And then we have like the lower guys, like the purples and the blues, obviously listen to the blacks and the browns, you know, like for advice on techniques and stuff like that. But we just come in, and it's like everything's a group decision, and everything we do is like and everything like that. But
interesting.
And what this ties into, is we all have our own drilling partners. Right. Like we all have designated guys that we drill with at certain times. Like we have like 2 guys that come in and drill like before the class. We have other guys that drill on Saturdays. Like my drilling partner is Mateo. His name is Mateo Landano. He's a really successful brown belt. And we drill at like 12 o'clock, like in the afternoon. We just meet up and drill, and then the night classes on our training days are just hardcore training. It's like drill on your own time, practice your techniques on your own time, and bring your A game to the comp classes.
And how do you like to drill? Are you placing an emphasis on speed, on just clean form? How do you like to drill personally?
Drilling is it's a lot of just repetitions, especially when you play like the game that I play, like the whole like sometimes boloing and leg dragging and stuff. Like it's so many small details in such a fast time that if you don't drill a lot and train your body to like react the way it needs to react in those high tense situations, you're gonna fall a step behind. That was honestly really stressed with Mikey and Sammy. They were really into that, like perfecting the steps and the forms and everything like that. And then when you almost train, it's like you just put your body on autopilot and it knows what to do in all the situations. But yeah, it's mostly just like repetition of complicated movements to kind of download it into your system. And
are you doing for time or numbers?
Sometimes we'll do like time, like you go a minute, I'll go a minute, or sometimes we'll do like 5 and 5 reps, or just it kind of depends on how it really depends on how much we're exploring that day. You know, like if I want to work on something that I need to like ask Mateo about and be like, hey, how does this feel? How does that feel? It doesn't really work well with time, because then I spend most of the time asking him and talking.
Right. Then
it kind of works out more just to rep it out. But if it's like, hey, let's just drill our A game, then we'll just put time on and boom, you just go for time.
How much percentage of your drilling is drilling your A game, and how much of the percentage of the time is it drilling everything else, the new moves?
We try to only drill A game, and when I say like drilling new stuff, it's like to add to the A game, you know, like how to like, hey, is the pressure from the leg drag better like this or like this? If I put my head here, is that more pressure or less pressure? Do you feel like you can roll me here and stuff like that? You know, it's kind of just like sculpting the rough edges out of the A game. Like I'm not going to drill close guard. I'm not going to drill like other things that I'm not going to use so much. You know, like it's more just, hey, this is my tournament game. Like this is what I'm going to go for, and this is what I'm going to drill.
Yeah, is that because you're training for a tournament, or is that just how you drill normally? Like not
That's
adding.
That's just how I drill normally.
Okay, at this point, you know all your techniques. You know what game you want to play. Like there's not much room for exploration, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like I know at this point in my game, I'm not going to be a triangle guy. Like it doesn't work for me. I'm not very good at triangles, and I just don't like them. And I'm much prefer omoplata, so I'll drill omoplata entries and finishes and distance from there. But I'm not going to drill no triangles. So like, I just feel like it's a top tier of black belt, but you're not going to catch up. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to start doing a move now and then get good enough to start hitting it at the highest level.
AJ, you're kind of muffling. Are you
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's all right. It sounded like you're away from the phone for a second. Now, about your drilling, if you weren't drilling, like if you weren't competing anymore, let's say you said, all right, I'm going to retire from competition, would you be drilling differently? Would you be exploring more realms of jiu-jitsu? Like, would you be trying to be more of a triangle guy? Would you not care to just stick to an A game?
I maybe as an instructor standpoint, you know, like just like exploring to help better inform your students who might have that sort of game. But I'm a firm believer in making your jiu-jitsu work for you and your body, you know. So I feel like a lot of the times when you are drilling, you want to drill realistic stuff. You know, like I'll have guys that'll come up to me and be like, "Oh, I really want to do the berimbolo. You know, I really, really want to get this or get that."
Okay.
And I'll show it to them, you know, and I'll try to let them do it. But I feel like you just got to optimize your game.
Yeah.
You know, and what your body type is and what your style is, and try to run with that. Like I have guys that are wrestlers and play top and scramble and do all that stuff, and I'm not going to bother them with complicated bolo to leg drag entries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Jiu-jitsu is so vast. There's no way you're going to master all of it, you know, and I feel like just striving to perfect certain aspects of it is the best way to improve.
Definitely.
And what would you say is your like favorite, if you can start a match in one specific position, like automatically? You can get right there. What would that be?
Omoplata.
Nice. And then where would you go from there?
I just really like omoplatas. I don't know. I just really, it's weird. Like ever since Clark Gracie did that weird omoplata finish on lapella, like I was sold. I just went off on that, and literally that was my game for that was my only move at brown belt.
Wow.
So it kind of gave it to you, right? Like that was just a move that kind of fell in your lap, and it just so happened that you were good at it naturally,
it became yours. It gave itself to you.
Yeah, I just saw a dude who was down in points. I don't know if you guys remember, but he was losing. Yeah. And he was throwing up the hang loose sign while choking a dude to sleep. And I was like, no way. Like, there's no way that this guy's doing this at the final of the Pan Ams. Like, what?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I got to learn that.
Now, are you finding different setups for the omoplata? Are you trying to locate the omoplata from anywhere and everywhere?
Yeah, I am. And if I could get to an omoplata, I think I could pretty much feel it. Like if I'm winning in points or it's even, and I could get to the omoplata, like I feel really comfortable there. I can hang out there for the whole match, or I can finish, or I can choke, or I can do a lot of things. I really like that.
So you're always looking for an omoplata. Like say you're playing a De La Spider, or you're in a reverse De La Hiva. You're setting up that grip set to snatch an omoplata. Is that safe to say?
Oh, if you let me, I will. If you let me take it from anywhere, if you're on my back and you find a way to give me an omoplata, I'll take it.
Damn.
One of my favorite omoplata setups, and maybe this is because I'm not training with world-class black belts on a regular basis, but when people go for straight ankles on me, I'll like kind of berimbolo roll, grab the shoulder, and then kind of like jump backwards into an omoplata. Have you ever played with that kind of position?
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Like I do that kind of stuff a lot. Like I'll play like X guard or like single leg X, and they're hugging your foot like a foot lock, and you can back step and like grab their shoulder and roll into it. Like anything where it even seems like a feasible answer, I'll go for it.
And you've found all. So when you got inspired by Clark Gracie, essentially you started drilling for exploration, and then you found in your roles what worked for you, and then you started to focus. Is that how the process went?
Yeah, it was like I was already a leg lasso spider guy. Like that was like kind of the game that I liked to play, and I had like some basic understandings. It was more like a spider heavy game, and it didn't have like that real threat. Yeah. And then when I saw that, like what he was doing for the omoplata, I was like, man, that would be really good fit for my game. And I just kept drilling and exploring and bouncing ideas off my drilling partners and trying it and training and failing and failing and failing and failing and looking like an idiot, like losing omoplatas and getting passed by blue belts and stuff. And then it started to click, and now it became like a staple of my game.
And how long would you say it took for you to fail at this one game plan and try to keep going back at it and keep going back at it? I mean, obviously that's subjective to each person, but how long generally do you think it'll take someone? 3 months of nonstop failing at it to finally get it? Or how long did it take you essentially before you start feeling like, man, I'm nice in this position?
I feel like if you're not willing to take it to the end, then there's no point in doing it. You know, like if you say, oh, if I don't have this move by 3 months, I'm done. Like, then you're just not going to get to that point. I was willing to say, you know what, my game is going to improve when I get this move down, so I don't care if I have to get smashed for a year. I'm going to get this into my game.
And
it was the same way with Spider Guard. You know, I don't like you guys are probably started jiu-jitsu or was doing jiu-jitsu at the same time I was. Like Spider Guard wasn't something like you could just get a DVD of. You know, it was like you had to just grab the sleeves and start learning.
Yeah.
Are you trying to finish the classic omoplata, or you're just going for other attacks off of the omoplata position?
I have like a bunch of weird attacks that I do from the omoplata just in my own like exploration of the position. Like it's just more, it's more so like if a guy gave me the classic omoplata finish, I would take it, but when you get to, like, if you're competing at black belt, like, a lot of guys aren't just going to give you the old school, like, they just sit up and crank their arm.
Right.
So you kind of, like, you kind of, like, start seeing, like, okay, today in training, I got to 6 omoplatas, and I finished 4 of them, and the guy got out twice, and this is how he got out. Okay, so he got out like that twice. How do I address that? So then you grab your partner and say, hey, when I go for the omoplata, you do this. And then you just drill like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? If I do this, does that work? No. I do this. Does that work? Okay, that works.
Boom.
You know, and then you just try to go from there.
From your experience, is there one thing that you notice a lot of people do wrong in omoplata? Not necessarily to get, like you said, the classic finish, but where people lose the position. Like when you first throw the legs on and they're still on their knees, you have the omoplata, maybe you have the lapel, maybe you have the belt, like some basic control. But after that, is there a way that most people like fail at that position where the guy is able to posture up or escape or whatever?
Yeah, I feel like most people, like, I don't let go of the lapel, the cross collar grip that I have until, like, I'm 100% in, like, a finishing mode. Like, I feel like a lot of people let go of the lapel to, like, try to hug the back or try to get the belt or try to do that, and that just opens up for the person posturing up out of it. And I feel like good omoplata players know that once you get to the omoplata, that posture is everything.
Yeah.
So they'll hang off that collar until the guy literally just stops trying to defend and kind of accepts the position.
Ah, interesting.
Nice. We first learned about that collar control in the omoplata from the Mendes brothers. Is that something that you picked up from them, something that they taught you, or you just figured that out? I feel like their whole emphasis on that collar sleeve guard was like another way. Like I said before the Clark Gracie video, I was like a spider lasso player because I was training a lot with the Mahecha brothers, and their spider guard game is just like out of this world. So you're like, you have to like try to pick it up, and do what they do. But they're like really like disciplined in their spider guard. So then when I added the omoplata to it, like the whole lasso omoplata game opened up. And then I feel like when I started training with the Mendes brothers, they were really heavy on that collar sleeve game.
Yeah.
And that collar sleeve game just made my omoplata entries and finishes go way up because you have such posture control.
Right.
You know, like shooting omoplatas with both sleeves, it's like it's good, but you don't have much control of the guy's posture.
Crazy.
Yeah. So and it goes hand in hand. So now when you attack the omoplata from that collar sleeve, your hand's already on the collar. You're already in that strong position. Now, is it important? Because a question about omoplatas: is it important to grab the back area, the belt, the waist? Or should we be going to the close side leg? Because I've seen a lot of people try to break people down with grabbing the pants on the close side of the leg, but then other people go to the back
to break down the opponent?
to break down the opponent.
Yeah, that's a good question. How do you break your opponents down, or are you not
like
even
when
worried?
when they're trying, like they're standing up and they're postured?
Like they're on their knees. You just got the position, and you're trying to stop them from arching their back and posturing up.
I feed the opposite lapel.
Around the back?
It's like that belt grip, I go over the back and pull the lapel out and then like keep that lapel to me.
Got it. Nice.
And then from there, where are you riding? Where are you going?
From there, I do a lot of like the jump over the body and then feed that lapel that you already have in your hand to your top hand for that choke that Clark Gracie did, and then I'll do a lot of like these weird like hooking the legs to like collapse the guy.
Yeah.
Like my favorite thing for people to do is when I get the omoplatas for them to try to stand up. If they try to stand up, like that's my best finish.
Is that because you're reaching with your leg and you're hooking behind the knee? And
that
puts like a lot of pressure on the shoulder, right?
Yeah, I've torn a few shoulders out of place.
Dang.
Like that. Like not on purpose even.
It's just
a lot of pressure happens at one time.
Yeah. Oof.
So what do you think about, because I feel like this position kind of feels like that, like an omoplata, the Barato plata. Do you ever play with that game or?
Not too much. I heard a little bit of something. I think, wasn't it like Kaio was like going out and like finishing dudes with it?
Yeah. He got a couple guys with it.
Yeah, and I like, it was one of those things where like I saw it and I was like, that is freaking cool, but
just not for you.
I just like omoplata so much that why wouldn't I just try to pull the arm in all the way to omoplata?
Sure. F it. Just get your omoplata game. Does your game differ when you're playing nogi? Like the omoplatas, it's really good with the grips, but on nogi, it's kind of hard.
A little scarce.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. My nogi game is like almost not even comparable to my gi game. It's kind of weird. Just I learned all my nogi stuff from the guy who gave me my black belt was Pablo Popovich.
Right.
So my no-gi game's like really wrestling heavy and top game and trying to pass and smash and
you learned a lot
like
of your
that. And then
you learned a lot of your gi from Pablo Popovich too, though. No,
Pablo was more like, even when we were training, like we would do gi training and stuff, but he was always super emphasized on no gi. So he wasn't really one of those guys that changed his game up for gi and no gi. Like his no gi game was kind of similar to his gi game.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to have like a gi game, like spider guard and all that stuff, because I felt like that was the future of the sport and what was gonna help me win tournaments. And my no-gi game, like, you can't, like, not listen to Pablo Popovich when he tells you something about no-gi. Like, that guy knows what the heck he's talking about.
Definitely.
You know, but my gi game was kind of built, like, in my own experiences. Like I said, like, I would train with, like, the Mehecha brothers and pick up Spider and then watch videos and get omoplatas and stuff like that. It was more like me trying to cultivate my own game that worked for my body and what I like to do.
So you took control of your progression.
And no-gi was all Pablo. Like, literally, to this day, it's just half-guard smashing and wrestling and all that good stuff.
Who inspires you? Like, who inspired your game before? Who inspires you now? It could be, like, general inspiration, or it could be, like jiu-jitsu specific inspiration.
My two favorite guys are Low and Lepre, man. Like, I've been watching those guys forever. Forever. Like, I mean, you can ask students of mine that would come in and I would just be watching like Lucas Lepre's highlight video. Like, man, this guy is so good.
Yeah.
Like, just the way that he fights is just so like admirable, you know, like how he's always so chill and nothing seems to fluster him. And he brings the same like consistency to every fight. You never see him look bad.
Right.
You know, it's like, it's crazy. Like, I go in sometimes and I'm like, oh man, I'm on, you know. Like, other times I go in and the whirlwind of Leandro Low hits you and you're like, where am I?
Yeah,
I envy that a lot.
I learned under Lucas for 3 years when he was up in New York. And what I love about him is he has the complete game. He has what I call total game. He's well versed in every single position. Any guard, any top playing, any type of pass, he has it all locked down. It's crazy. And you beat him. That's nuts. How did that feel?
That was one of the best feelings of my life. And it was like,
what did you say? I'm sorry, we didn't hear you. Sorry.
I was just saying, it was one of the most like amazing moments of my life. It felt like playing basketball with Michael Jordan, man. It was really cool. It's because, man, like, when you're going up in jiu-jitsu, like, you look at top guys. It's so weird to be watching videos and, like, just rooting for people for so long, you know? Like, you see them fight at every tournament. You tell all your guys, like, oh, man, Lucas is going to win, man. Lucas is my guy. And then, like, you got to square off and fight him. It was just such a weird, like, vibe to it. And then winning, it was, like, it almost felt unreal. It didn't feel like it was a real thing. But even after that, and the coolest thing was he lived up to all of the expectations that I had. You know, he was like he was the same super cool, chill guy like the whole time. Like he wasn't like mad or frustrated or anything. He was really cool, and it was really cool to like meet your hero and for him to like be a really nice guy.
When you guys squared up, you know, Lucas is my man, but I honestly didn't know who was going to win that fight. And I gave you a chance. I said, you know, AJ's a monster. He's a beast. And watch this. This could potentially be his fight to take. So it was amazing, man. Great job.
Thanks, man. Like that was really cool.
What are your goals?
And I watched that fight myself on video, and I like can't help. I'm so used to rooting for Lucas.
Did you root for him when you were watching?
I'm like, no, Lucas, no.
I'm trying to recall the fight. I think Lucas there was a delay in one of the transitions, maybe, and you took advantage of it. I don't know. I don't remember the match. I don't know if you can recall where he might have erred.
Well, what happened was like I went for like a leg weave pass where I like smashed my hip down on top of his like top leg, and he was doing like a come up sweep, and I felt like my weight was like good enough to keep him down. I was like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna solidify the top position. But you've trained with him, so you probably know. Like he just came up anyway.
Right.
I felt like I had all of my weight on his hip, like all every bit of my body was on his hip, and he was like, "Ha, I'm coming up." So I just rolled under and went for the ride. Like I was like, "There's no way that this guy's coming up from this position." And then he kind of like did like forced his way up. And in that moment, I was like, I think I can roll for bolo here. And I went for it, and I feel like I landed in a good spot.
Definitely.
So do you think it just caught him off guard, like that transition from that escape attempt? He was like, oh, snap. And then by the time you started getting deep into that game, he was already behind, which is, I mean, that's jiu-jitsu, like catching the guy off guard. Do you think that's what happened, or was he just not prepared in that position?
I had no idea. Honestly, I've never seen someone stop my leg weave like that. You know, like in every training session I've ever been in, when I get that deep on a leg weave, the guy usually stays on his back. And he came up. So like I've never even been in that position before where I can tell you like normally it goes this way, because his ability to go from his back to like coming up is just ridiculous.
Now, moving forward, what are some of your goals, like competition goals? And are there any super fights you would like to get into against anybody? And like not in a disrespectful way, obviously. Just like, hey man, I could see myself squaring off with somebody very well.
I really want to continue to push for worlds. You know, I think like winning the worlds would be like the cap on the career. You know, like I really want to finish my career with black belt world champion.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like there's gonna be a passing of the torch soon. You know, there's like Lucas and Lange are getting towards that part in their career. You know, they're kind of getting towards the end, and then like it's kind of the transition's coming, and I kind of want to be at like the front, the cutting edge of that transition, and try to be one of the guys that takes the era over, you know, because that's how it always works, right?
Right.
It's like the guys shuffle out, and then the guys shuffle in, and it comes down to one guy beating the guys, and then someone else takes over. And I feel like the push is in the next few years. So I'm going to go as hard as I can for the world title in the next 5-6 years and go crazy for it, because I really want to win the world. And I really want my guys that are with me to win too. So even if I don't have the motivation some days to get out of bed and go train to get that title, knowing that other guys are basing their dreams off of me showing up, like kind of pushes me that extra mile.
Nice, man.
Nice, man.
And any super fights, are you scheduled for any super fights? Do you even have the interest, or it's just straight up black belt worlds?
I feel like I just, because the way super fights work, right? They just like, I guess they just hit you up and they're like, hey, do you want to fight this guy?
Essentially,
and yeah. I normally accept, but I did turn down one recently to fight Gordon Ryan and no gi submission only, which I think, what? Like, that's not a good fight for me. That's like a whole new set of jiu-jitsu rules, man. I can't do that. That kid is good. But yeah, the super fight thing, like I'm down to fight most people, you know, like if the game is right, like obviously like gi, IBJJF rules, because that's just what I train with. Yeah. But I want to do Polaris. Like I'm sponsored by Tatami, and they kind of host the thing, so I really want to do Polaris. Oh man, I hope I could get on the next card.
I think you would definitely shine in Polaris for sure.
I like that kind of game too. You know, like I'm really offensive most of the fights that I go with, and having like that, hey, this is it. You just got to fight this guy, throw as many attacks as you can at him, and if they have to pull me off the mat on a stretcher because I'm dead, then so be it.
So, in your opinion, because you're used to fighting IBJJF rules where, you know, points count for everything, and so do advantages. In your opinion, do you like that submission only style where, even though it's a, you know, time limit, that's cool, but that submission only where if I get swept, I don't have to worry about it. I can work my omoplatas from top. I can work my omoplatas from bottom. And does it take the edge off from having to worry about that, or it doesn't matter to you?
Yeah, I think it can be taken both ways, and I think the sad thing about it is it kind of it depends on how you look at the rules, you know, and how you're gonna play it. I feel like for the guy who thinks he's better, you know, the guy who thinks he's gonna win. It allows him to open up, and like for me, for example, like trying to go for omoplatas from top or from a lot of different positions that I wouldn't normally go for them, like I'm definitely game. If I'm in side control and the guy gives up an omoplata position, I'll roll under and I'll go for it because there's no threat of getting swept or anything like that. But on the other side of it too, if you start falling behind, I feel like a thought creeps into everyone's mind that's like, okay, I'm probably not going to win this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just not get submitted, and then that kind of stinks the game up, because you'll see one guy just be like, okay, he's got the edge on the positioning and stuff. So let me just keep my arms in, elbows tight, and let's ride this one out.
Yeah. And
that's what I don't like about it. It's like if you had two guys and you were like, you want that like super exciting. I'm really a fan of like the Abu Dhabi World Pro stuff, man. You get two black belts 6 minutes, and you say, hey, you don't have to worry about cardio, man. It's 6 minutes. You're gonna get some exciting fights.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the last Abu Dhabi Pro, maybe not the last one, but the one before that, it was just I think it was the last one. It was just explosive, man. I thought it was one of the best points tournaments I had seen in a long time, man. Everybody was going for it. Yeah,
crazy.
I'm telling you, man. Those that's like the most fun thing to watch is those black belts that don't have to worry about cardio. You don't, because I think it's almost impossible to go. It is impossible to go as hard as you can for 10 minutes. So it's always, you go a little bit and you chill a little bit, and you go a little bit and you chill a little bit. But for 6 minutes, man, you could just turn it up to 11 and see what happens.
And especially with the 10 minutes, you kind of have time where if it's an even match, you can kind of hold off for a couple of minutes and then start moving again at 6 or 7. But like that 6 minutes, dude, you don't got time. If that guy's pushing, you don't have time. And the cool thing is, like, since it's 6 minutes, usually one guy's like, all right, I'm going to go hard. And the other guy can't not go hard because that guy's pushing. Like, he doesn't have the time to say, I'll let that wave, I'll let the wave pass and then take over. But like, I'm agreeing with you.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, man. Are you going to compete at the Abu Dhabi Pro Trials?
World Pro I will this year. I will the next one that comes up. I didn't this one that just passed, honestly, because I really hate traveling. Like, okay. I really don't like planes and staying in the hotels and everything. I know it's bad for the sport because the whole sport is traveling, especially when you live in Florida.
Yeah.
But, man, a 16-hour flight to Abu Dhabi, like, I don't know. That's like my worst nightmare.
That's freaking tough, man. And then you got to, like, how do you not get really stiff and then you got to compete in a few days? And
man, it is. I literally landed in Abu Dhabi after the 16-hour flight, stepped my feet on the ground, and the first thought that hit me was, I got to fly this all the way back in a week.
Wow. Yeah. So it was a direct flight, man? That's...
It was. I have to fly to New York and then New York to Abu Dhabi, but we had to stop in Greece for like 3 hours, and then we went from Greece to Abu Dhabi. I think the travel time was 21 hours.
Oh, my God.
Not worth it.
So you don't want to visit there for vacation then? That's what you're saying, essentially.
Heck no.
Yeah, man.
Even for my favorite jiu-jitsu tournament on the planet, I was like, I saw the trials came to like Tampa or something, and I sent my guys, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to fly.
Yeah. But the good thing about it is you suffer during the flight, but you can make out with a good payday, right?
Yeah, you can make some money, and like the when I went, the year I went, like I heard phenomenal stories, like almost like lore about the training rooms in Abu Dhabi World Pro, where you get to see like Bushesha rolling with like the Meows and this guy and that guy, because everyone's there, and then I get there and no one's training, and the training mat is like 20 feet by 20 feet, and they took it out like halfway through, and I was so disappointed. I feel like I got robbed of my my training stories.
Maybe they just didn't invite you. Like everybody's like, oh shit, AJ's coming. Let's.
Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time that happened, but I hope not.
Nice, man. So worlds are coming up. Anything after that? What are your sights? Are you planning on doing Nogi Worlds or just straight gi?
Yeah, I want to do Nogi Worlds for the first time. My guys do really well in Nogi. I feel like because we have a lot of like guys in wrestling background. We sent like 5 or 4 guys up to Nogi Worlds last year from our competition team, and we got like 4 second places or 3 second places or something. Like nice. We're definitely at the top tier in Nogi, and I compete. I have more accolades in Nogi than I do in gi, and I feel like I just compete well in Nogi, and I want to make a shot for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
How about the Nogi Pan Ams? They're normally in New York.
I hate that tournament, man.
Why not? What's wrong with New York?
I hate all of the tournaments that are in that.
He hates planes.
That arena.
The underground.
Yeah.
The underground, like the AC's never working, like fight in like the hottest environment you've ever been in. Like, that tournament is just awful.
That place is pretty warm, to say the least.
Man, it's so bad.
Yeah. Normally, that's pretty much the only place IBJJF hosts events when they're in New York, and so that's pretty much the only places we've competed at, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
It does, right? You have to like register, like or like get your ticket or whatever across the street, and then you have to go through the metal detectors, and it's always like a 30-40 minute line to go through the metal detectors. Like,
hold up, they don't do that in California?
How many people are getting shanked at jiu-jitsu tournaments?
There's no metal detectors in California? Or anywhere?
No.
Florida? Anywhere?
Damn.
No.
It's that New York
you don't
shit.
Get metal detectored and stuff, man. I don't know what's going on over there in New York, but like that's the only place.
Gangsta shit.
You know what's funny? That's normal to me. Like I expect that. Like in high school, growing up in high school, there was metal detectors to get in high school.
Because you grew up in Jersey City, you thug.
Yeah, we didn't have that in Florida, man. We just walked in and did our thing.
Man, you're lucky, man. I had to sit through a metal detector line just to get in high school.
That's crazy. Yeah, I can't stand that tournament.
What if they said, "Listen, man, we're gonna
not
give
the
you
tournament, the venue.
The
venue. Like I just feel like if I'm gonna do it, I'll just wait for Worlds, you know?
Yeah.
And try to get like the No-Gi World title and save myself the hassle.
Well, the No-Gi World
I also
title...
just don't like New York in general. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a Floridian and I like wear sandals and the beach and everything. Yeah. And it's just like so crowded and everyone moves so fast there. And I don't know.
You're a peninsula type guy.
You're an alligator type guy. Will a No-Gi World suffice to you, or you need that Gi Worlds title?
Oh, Gi, for sure.
Of course.
For sure. Like, No-Gi Worlds would be like, hey, that's cool. Like I think that's really awesome. But like, Gi is like the one that I really have my sights set on. It's not like I'm not just like saying the values more or anything. It's just for my goals. I put more emphasis on the Gi title than No-Gi.
Cool, man. Well, we're running out of time. This was great, man. Do you have any sponsors or anybody you want to give shout outs to? Please do so.
Yeah, Tatami is my Gi sponsor, and they helped me out a lot. I've been with them for I think 2 or 3 years, and they always help me out with whatever I need, and they got really good Gis. I think we got like 90% of all my guys in my gym like wear Tatami Gis and everything like that. Other than that, though, with the sponsorship with Tatami and everything, it's just my guys. Like I said, it's kind of weird, you know, where we don't have like that head honcho like vibe. It's just I can literally say that every success that I had, I just won the Miami Open. I have to thank a group of guys. It's just a bunch of guys coming in as equals and just literally trying to kill each other. I can say for a fact that I'm not the baddest guy in my gym on certain days. You know, some guys come in there and they just wreck, you know, and it's awesome. We just have a lot of dedicated guys that come in every single day, and they're willing to grind, and they don't complain, and they give their ideas, and it's just cool to have like the environment where sometimes I don't have to be the coach. You know, sometimes I go in and I have one of my guys yelling at me, "Come on, AJ, let's go. Go the extra mile. Let's go. And it's
Stop being a
you
pussy.
don't want to let them down, so you're killing it." Yeah, exactly. You know, and you can't let your guys down like that. And it's just really cool to have like that crew mentality and like go out there as like honestly like a legit team.
Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Awesome, man. And if people are in Florida, how can they reach you? How can they come train with you? Like, where are you located, and what's the website?
Well, we are GF Team Fort Lauderdale. We fully affiliated with GF Team, so we got the website. It's gfteamstl.com. The website should be live soon. My gym is in Fort Lauderdale, and Victor Silverio's gym is in Boca. So we got the two hubs in Florida.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
if you're ever in any of those areas, you can Google the website, or you can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and come check it out.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, man. And we look forward to seeing you compete at the Worlds. Good luck, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, man. I really enjoyed it.
Of course, man.
Take care, brother.
Peace.
You too, guys. See ya.
See ya.